bass mates. Right, in today's video I'm going to be going over a few things, a few new lures that I've bought. I spent quite a lot of money on lures. It gets a bit frustrating because I've had it's probably my 8th blank on the trot that I've had. I mean, I haven't been going since my video, the video where I caught the art was going and all that. Jesus Christ, for me it's been a pretty rough time. I haven't caught fuck all, and basically I'm in self-isolation at the moment, so that's why I've taken the time to do this video. Like I say, I'm going to go over the few lures and a few things like that. The reason why I'm in self-isolation, I've got operation on Wednesday, so I had the little test up to put the thing up your nose and scrape around your face and all that. So hopefully it'll all be good. But it gives me a chance to catch up on a few things. I mean, no live footage, fishing at night time anyway, you can't see bugger all. Hopefully next year we're going to cane it a lot more. So anyway, let's get into the video. Now, I tell you why I'm going to bring this up. I wouldn't normally tell you this. It doesn't sound very good, but I'm just being to be totally honest. That's that for me. I've had, like I said in the intro, I've had eight bloody blanks on the trot. I'm not making any excuses. It's just the way it goes. What I find even more quite frustrating, is every time you go on Facebook or something like that, you see pictures of people holding up all these doubles. But remember, if you think about the ratio of pictures and the size of our country and everything, do you know what I mean? I mean, I've had friends that have caught bass recently, and they hadn't put any of their pictures on there. So it doesn't mean to say that, there ain't any bloody fish out there. The fish are definitely out there. Now, see, what frustrates me, sometimes I get the odd message off of people and they say, oh, I've been fishing 5 times and I haven't caught anything yet. Saying about lures that they've bought and shit like that. But I think, fucking hell, Jesus Christ, I've been 15 times and blanked, and I've been fishing loads for years. That's just the way it goes. Anyway, I got, when people say things like that to me, I think, well, obviously they've just started lure fishing, or they've just started fishing because that's the way fishing's like that. You can go fishing and not. I mean, if I went bait fishing all the time, I would be surprised if I went fucking 6 times or 5 times or whatever and never caught. I would be surprised because I know damn well that don't really happen. You do have the occasional time where you don't catch something. There's always something out there. Whiting in the winter, millions of. It'd be impossible not to catch a whiting 3 at a time. But with our bass fishing, it can be quite hard. You have to take advantage of the opportunities when they come along. It's as simple as that. See, I would say to anybody, that hasn't caught anything, that really, obviously all the conditions, all these little things, it still doesn't mean to say you wouldn't catch. But, I'm scratching my head thinking, oh, Jesus, what can I do? I can't blame it all on the conditions. We have had crap conditions, but I've been when the conditions have been really good and still not caught anything. In fact, one night this year, there was three of the lads come down from up north, the friends of Lee, my mate Lee. We all went, never caught bloody bugger all. Anyway, so I went home. The next morning, they'd all gone again at 11:30 at night. One had caught 25. One had caught 10. I don't know what the other 2 had caught. So you're not telling me if someone, I bet my bloody life on it, if someone who had never been before, or no, not never been before, someone who'd never caught a bass before had gone at that time of night with them people, they've gone that extra mile, haven't they? Obviously I didn't go because I had bloody working all, and that's unfortunate, it's life, but I understand that. I guarantee that they would have caught something. There's no way. If someone catches 25, there's no way, if you're standing there fishing with them, you're not going to catch. Obviously, some people are better at it than, just got that knack of getting them. But you would definitely catch something. Now, there's another geezer, right, who sent me I love this little story. I'm going to show you the actual little clipping of what he wrote. 30 times. 30 times. You know, I think he comes from somewhere up Morecambe. Andy, his name is Andy something. I don't know, Andy something. He's been 30 times and not caught anything. He says his conditions up there, most of the time the water's like tea. I think he puts it in his thing. That's the same for us. You know, we've got crap conditions. Even though when I've been, I say the conditions have been crap. Still, people do occasionally catch even in the crap conditions. But for me, those bloody bass gods just do not seem to be shining at the moment. And I could tell you anything, but I ain't, because I'm not going to no point bloody bullshitting, is there? What's the point? It's just the way it goes. I'm telling you that the answer is, for me, if you're not, you've got to go first light before you go to work. If you're having a problem, if you tried everything else, going in the daytime you haven't caught anything, or going in the evening you ain't caught anything, you've got to go first light. Get the tides right, make sure there's tide run, and do all that paraphernalia. Anyway, that's the way it goes. So that's what I was just talking about, blanking. I mean, it's not been good. Hopefully we will get another little window before we're finished round here. I mean, I know there are some places in the country where they do still catch all year round. I mean, the Channel Islands, I think a couple of places, Pembrokeshire, I think so, Isle of Wight maybe, but here, nah, definitely not. Once our water turns to shit, it's going to be like that for bloody till probably March, April, probably. So there we go. Next thing, I'm going to talk about a few lures. His prolific blanking scenario. Well, actually, the 30 blanks that he had is actually all started to come good now, and which I'm really, really pleased about, because he's been emailing me. He's obviously told me about all these things, and he's showed me his pitch, some of the lures, and that he found hook to turbot, but so you do get there in the end. I mean, it sounds like he's got pretty, like I said in the bit earlier, it sounds like he's got his tough conditions up there, and so now he's actually been catching them, and actually told me a few stories of where his leaders come undone and knots have come undone. Jesus, make sure them bloody knots are good. All it's got to do, there's nothing worse if you've got a blinding fish on and all of a sudden it comes off and you think, Jesus, I haven't even got the lure, the knot comes come undone. There's no excuse. You could have been, you've been blanking and that happens, and you said you think you've lost a bloody good fish because you haven't tied your knot on properly. Well then, what a shame. Anyway, thanks for sending us the pictures, Andy. They're great. Other things like another scenario, a couple of scenarios that have come along this year. Getting back to me having these blanks. Anyway, one of the times I went down to Folkestone with Lee Smith and one of his friends from London. His name's Al, lovely, absolute lovely fella. Another Geordie. He his second time ever lure fishing. Now we'd been there, walked along to the spot. Me and Lee have been fishing, yonks, been fishing for ages, bass fishing, lure fishing for ages. This bloke, I was fishing away, a couple of casts, looked round, Jesus, straight away he was in, right? Now, it's just the way it goes. I mean, he was using, I haven't got it, I thought I got it out to show you. Anyway, he was using doesn't make any difference, but he was using a white scary eel. Of all the bloody lures, I mean, of all the blasted lures I've got, I didn't have that. I'm not saying it would have worked. Anyway, at the end of the day, he'd caught 3. We hadn't caught anything. It's just the way it goes. 3. Anyway, that's one scenario. Another time I went with the bloke Steve Wood. We went in absolute shit conditions. The water was mud, but he caught one. Just on a fake Zor's Ostery right in front of him. It made his day, and I'm really pleased for him. But he'd been on a bit of a run of blanking, but he he sort of fishes, he'll go any time. He'd fish with his son. His son had caught a couple of, his son's only been a couple of times. It's just the way it goes. And I, even when I'd known they'd gone that day, I was thinking, you've got to be joking. You're not going to get... And so it doesn't always mean to say that if the conditions are shit, you're definitely not going to catch it. It just knocks your chances down by quite a bit. Anyway, let's go through a few lures now. Right, this little lure, you know this one. This is the Kimono. This isn't what I'm going to show you. I'm just showing you what had happened and how frustrating it be. Now, I was sitting there talking. This is just before we had gone fishing, and because I'd been blanking, because this actual lure has been the lure that has saved me a blank on so many occasions. This Kimono Chameleon. Anyway, what happened was I shut the boot of my car, and its head was trapped in the gap, and as you can see, it popped its eye out. So obviously I couldn't find the bloody thing anywhere. It popped off, but it gave me the idea, because what I did then was I've been spraying a few lures ready for next year, really, because they've got a bit battered up. I've got my a Suzuka there. That was a Sambora before. Yeah, that's come out all right. I could put the hooks back on that. It run though, the paint. I got a bit heavy-handed with the old paint, and the Kimono too. But because I'd lost the eye on this one, I thought, wow, that seems bloody easy. Rather than putting a bit of blue tack in, I'll pop the eyes out. I popped the eyes out with a little Stanley knife blade. So I did it. Then, when it comes to finding the eyes that I'd taken out, do you think I could bloody find them things? I looked everywhere. I asked my missus. She says, what do they look like? I said, they look like little eyes that go in lures. Anyway, so, would you believe this? Lightning strikes twice. I found them. Funnily enough, when I wasn't looking for them, they were just sitting there on this table, just sitting there like that. Now, I've just gone to get this from the shed again. Would you bloody believe it? You'd think I would have put them somewhere safe. Yes, obviously, so I definitely knew where they were. No, can't find the bloody things anywhere. So it looks like I might be putting a couple of full size back on that one. There's obviously this is the other one. Oh yeah, there's a reason why I was showing you these white lures, because I've done the white lure video before with, I've done a video about spraying lures white, and it's some geezer mentioned it to me, and I did know this, but it really reminded me, because it's quite important. What you must do if you ever spray your lures white with like car paint or whatever you're using, don't put them in with soft plastics. For some bloody reason, all the paint melts off and goes on the soft plastics, and it really does make a bit of a mess. And I should have said that in that video, but I absolutely forgot. Right now, here's a couple of the lures that I have bought. Oh yeah, that was another thing quickly before. That time that we went down when we fished with Al, that was the first time I'd used my casting. Now, it was great. I had brand new line on it. I think it was a lime J braid, but Jesus, mate, I got the most horrific wind knot. I had to cut half the line off. It was bloody annoying to me at times, because it took me yonks to get that line on, to get it, it's the right diameter for the reel. I've got my dial here. I mean, that's a little bit low, but I've never had a bloody wind knot with that bloody J braid. Anyway, this brand new J braid. Now I tell you why, because I did the same mistake again. What had happened was I wasn't checking. When you first cast out, you've got to make sure that line never loops over the top of the bloody spool, and that's what had happened with that. Obviously, I hadn't noticed it. I was trying to whack the bloody lure out as far as I can, because we weren't catching anything apart from the newbie Al, caught 3-0. Me and Lee, quite funny. We joked about it. It was really funny. Anyway, so that's what had happened. You've got to make sure that you make sure that line's not looped over, because I did the same thing. What I did is ended up chucking a brand new load of line off taking it off and chucking it in the bin, and putting the old braid that I had, this J braid, that's never had a wind knot with that J braid, that multicoloured one. Would you bloody believe it? We went night fishing. This was the night that later on they had all caught all them fish. bloody hell, I got a howl of a wind. It's exactly the same thing because I'd seen that I'd actually hooked it and I wasn't checking. So always make sure you give it a little pull. That would, if you're getting wind knots, because what happens is that loop will come off with all the other line, and that's it. You're fucking buggered then, I tell you. Another little tip though, right? If you get a wind knot, take some Vaseline, get a little pot of Vaseline, you can get them little round tins and put it in your thingy bob and grease that around. That Lee told me this is bloody blinded. You put all that on it, give it a pull and it pulls it out. So happy days. Anyway, getting on to a few new lures. Only a couple, I'm only going to show you a couple. Look, all yellow, they're all night lures in that one. Now the reason why I'd got these is one is because I was told that Maria squash, I've mentioned that in, it's not new, I've had that ages, but you know, on the same sort of, that's quite a deep diver, that one. I've got this, which is a hound glide. I've never ever had a hound glide. They're quite heavier, 3 hooks, that's a lime glow something or other. I don't think it actually glows in the, well, I'm pretty sure it doesn't glow. It didn't that night I used it anyway. Never caught bugger all, but it doesn't matter. I'm only showing you what I've been buying. The reason why I like these sort of divers is because this is the Shoreline Shiner. Now I've had my best ever session with that Shoreline Shiner, 20 bass that night. But I never caught anything on it since, never. Well, but it's just one of them, it's the way it goes, you know, but you can't tell me that it doesn't catch bass because I've had 20 in my best ever session on that. Right, this was, this is a, oh, shit, what's it called? Oh yeah, Silent Assassin, Shimano Silent Assassin. I just love the look of its little tiny little silver head. You know, still night lure. Yep, love the look. But this is the strange looking one. This is like, Lee said it was like something out of the bloody Gremlins film. It's called a Blue Snekon 130. Now this, like, you know, like the Tacklehouse Vulture's got a little bib, a little fin underneath for, obviously it's a surface lure. This is surface lure. This is a subsurface lure. I can't think, it's about 20 grams or something, but it's got a fin on its head. Now you watch the video, you watch the action of that snaking through the water. It's amazing. So I bought it anyway. Obviously I haven't caught anything on it yet, but I reckon that could be a winner, right scenarios. Like I say, next year, I swear I'm gonna have, even if I have to have 2 weeks off when the weather's good, but do pull a sickie or something like that, and I'm just gonna fish first lights or from like 1 o'clock in the morning down to about 5 o'clock. I tell you that is, I think that is, if you're struggling, that's the, if that don't bloody work, I tell you, I don't know what is going to work, because as far as I'm concerned, it's, you know, like I say, it could just be the way it goes. I mean, other people have bloody been catching them, but for me, it's been pretty frustrating at the moment. Anyway, that's the end of them lures. There was something else I was going to tell you about before I shut the video down, because I'll be doing another one at the end of the week once I'm out of hospital. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and learn how not to catch any bass. See you later. Have fun.